What is up guys, it is Simba here and welcome back to the channel for another team racing video on F124, and we're back in AEC for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Round number 13 is upon us, and if you haven't seen the last race, which was in Monza in World, be sure to check that one out before you see this one. It was quite a good race and we're looking to carry some momentum going into this one where we're around one of our favourite tracks on the game. So if you're looking forward to this one, make sure you hit the like button and get subscribed for more team racing content. This game cycle is nearly over, and to be honest with you, I've been spending more time on F123 than this game, which shows where the motivation is. It's completely at an all-time low at the minute, especially with uni, because I'm spending most of my days in front of my laptop trying to get assignments done. But here we are for Bahrain, a good track of ours historically. Obviously last season we were fighting for a podium place. We did get that podium on penalties, but you can see here in our first lap in qualifying, it's not exactly going too well, as we had a moment through 11, we have a moment through 12. Both were very unnecessary, to be honest with you. As, you know, if you saw Monza, you know, qualifying is a struggle, but we're looking to try and improve in this session. Obviously, it's a short qualifying session. Tech immediately sets the pace on the 26.4 for his banker lap, and I don't think we're going to get too close to him, but we cross the line to 26.7, which isn't too bad, but there is time in the lap, especially in Sector 2, where our third sector was actually one of the fastest, if not the fastest of everyone. So there's time in Sector 1, there's time in Sector 2, and if we match Sector 3, we could be in a great position. But here we go then. Time for the last lap. We do a little bit of woke nonsense down the main straight because there are bumps on the main line. As into Turn 1 we go, not exactly carrying the conviction through Turn 1, and Turn 2, again, just lacking that conviction, and we're barely level on the Delta. And this is not good news because we're about to come to the end of Sector 1, and you're going to see what it is, and that's why being level on the Delta is not good. 28.2 in Sector 1. That's not ideal. I did a 0.1 early in the session, but I was flying all over the place. The rear end was constantly stepping out in this session as we just missed the apex at Turn 8. That's great. You know, closer to Zimbabwe than we were to the apex. Going into turns 9 and 10, nicely done. You can use the curb on the outside for the exit, and we are currently half a tenth up, but I'm not too happy because here we go, turn 11, there's time in this. Nope, not anymore, we just lost the rear again, and that removes at least half a tenth, maybe a tenth of a second there, because you really shouldn't be losing it there. Through turn 13, we don't have a moment through 12, but we're 2 tenths up. I'm not particularly happy with this, but there's still one corner to go. Down the gears, down to 4th. We go all over the exit curb, and we just drain half a tenth. And unfortunately, it's another piss poor session. It's a 0.6, and that's enough for P10. And that is really frustrating. I was really annoyed at myself because we just got it wrong. We just got it completely wrong. And we were lucky to improve by a tenth and a half. So you can see Tech on a 25.9. He's on another league at the moment. You know, I made fun of his hours, but the guy is really quick for a reason. And we're P10, which isn't a bad position, but we really should be a higher. But our pace is strong in the race, so let's see what we can do from P10. Good luck, Rappy, mate. Let's have a good one.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Let's
So here we go, time for the start of the race, and the strategy around here is we avoid the mediums because they're a terrible race tyre. We're going to start on the hards, and then we're going to move on to the softs, and we're going to see what we can do from P10. 5 red lights in front of us for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and the lights are out, and we are underway under the floodlights around Bahrain, and you can see the start isn't the best as we did get quite a lot of oversteer as we tried to get the throttle down when the race started. We're going to take the inside line for turn number 1. We do lose out of place, but going through turns 2 and 3...
Oh. Huge.
What have I just seen? And that's a great question, because I don't know what's happened there.
Indeed.
I've just seen about 3 or 4 cars fly off the track. Meanwhile, we're trying to lock in P7. We went up the inside of Knock into turn 4, and by the time we get into Sector 2, we lock in P7. So it's a great start from P10 on the grid, and you can see things are kicking off immediately with Crowding and Evie Websy there in the sister Sauber and the Haas. So Tech leads the way, but this race I feel like it's going to be pretty close judging from that first lap. But going into turn number 1 on lap 3...
Okay.
For fuck's sake. Man. Why is it me every fucking time with this shit?
Well, we've been taken out there. For some reason, everyone's causing a Cossatina effect into turn number 1. And effectively, we've just been absolutely shafted. And we're back to where we started. So, that was really frustrating. And I will say, I struggled to keep my composure in this one because there was a lot of frustrating moments. You know, the title speaks for itself. You guys are going to see it for yourselves. So, lap 7, we're just trying to settle in behind AMS Knight. But into turn 1 again.
Oh,
Brilliant. More contact. This time we just completely wipe out AMS Knight. Poor guy.
why does everyone Cossatina at turn 1?
And yeah, there you go. I'm not very happy about it. Knight, if you are watching this, mate, I do apologise because that was really bad. But we're up to P9 at Knight's expense. I'm not really happy about it. As you can see, the cars in front, I think that's Bobbitt's there. And Websey getting really stuck in. And now you can see Nock is not using out of turn 3. We go up the inside into turn 4. And it's a repeat of lap number 1 where we just catch him napping there. And we're up into P8. You can see Rappy. It turns out it was Rappy fighting Websey there for P6 on track. So, and he's got a penalty, but he can get that removed. And yeah, up to P8 we go on lap number 8. But I did feel I was faster than Rappy in this race. But, you know, we'll have to work together to try and get some track position back as he goes up round the outside of Websey into turn number 1. Websey's going to try and keep this one in as they go side by side through turns 2 and 3. Thankfully, no one's getting wiped out, but you can see Rappy's made the place. We're going to try and follow our teammate through, and we're looking to go up the inside of the sister house. Going into turn number 4.
Oh my.
Sorry, man. Fuck's sake.
And we make contact with our teammate. Thankfully, we're both facing the right way. But I almost committed the cardinal sin of Formula 1 and in all of motorsports. Don't wipe out your teammate. And we just got away with it. But the frustration is building here because we're a third way through the race. And we've only gained 2 places. And we could be quite a way higher. Maybe just 1 or 2 places higher, if not for the contact on lap number 3. But you can see Websey's gone really wide through turn number 1. I think both Haas cars were struggling through turn number 1 for some reason. And now we're going to try again. Overtake and DRS enabled here. Going into turn number 4. And we just can't quite find a way through there. Websey places his car really well to retaining position. But I'm getting annoyed here because, you know, I'm feeling like Verstappen in Turkey 2020. I think he was just getting more and more annoyed as the race went on. And it's a similar feeling here because you can see that the top 6 are just starting to eke away from us a little bit. And I know with the pace we're showing here, we can definitely be up there as well, fighting for the big places. So here we go again, round the outside this time at turn number 1. Websey's going to go wide, but we're going to hang it round the outside. And it will turn to the inside line for turn number 2. Leave space through 3. And that is a textbook move. Lovely stuff. Up into P7 we go in this Bahrain Grand Prix. So we're back to where we were before the contact. But unfortunately, we don't have DRS. And that means we're going to have a hard time of things because we don't have much battery. And Websey and Bourbon Boy close behind us are simply just going to go straight back through. I mean, there's no point defending this because DRS is so cracked on this game. So Websey goes through. He's up into P7 again. And we're down to P8. I'm thinking that Bourbon Boy is going to pass us as well because we don't have much battery to work with. We need to save battery and try and catch up with the top 6 again. So Bourbon Boy is going to go through. And we're down to P9 again. And we're at lap 13. And at this point, guys, as there's contact up ahead between Bobbitt's and Crowding, as things are going to bunch up again. But this is really frustrating because we don't have any track position. You can see cars bunching up together as the Sauber is not a ghost anymore. We can see Crowding now as, you know, we could have been with Websey. Websey's up into P6. And we're P9 still. And at this point, I'm just really frustrated at how I'm driving at the minute. And we're not really getting the rub of the green in the close moments. And that carries on to lap 18, where the best way we're going to get through is strategy. But here's Bobbitt in front of us. Good to see him back. But going into turn 1 again.
Oh, just tap Bobbitt's now. God's sake.
Even more contact at turn 1. This time it's poor Bobbert. I didn't want to do that at all. But just a slight bit of contact and it's sending him round, and we're not in DRS, and this is really turning into a frustrating one.
Fuck me, this is going to shit.
And there you go, I'm just really frustrated. It's not looking good, guys. I'm getting really frustrated. We're past the halfway point. We're not in good track position, and we've pretty much been involved in every big collision so far in this race. And I felt really bad for Bobbert as well, because he's back on the grid. Normally he commentates these races in AEC, so it was nice to see him back on the grid. He was probably fancying his chances at a podium as well, but we've just wiped him out. Brilliant stuff. But that's kind of forced our hand to box on lap 18. It's a lap earlier than most people are going for, because we lost DRS in that entire exchange with Bobbert on the previous lap. So if we stayed out, we probably wouldn't have had DRS on the in lap, so we would have lost more time. So we have to cut our losses and box, as an F1 notification springs on my phone there about Verstappen's penalty against Piastri for some reason. I mean, I think we all know it's a penalty. I'm a Max fan, but I don't know what he's doing trying to cut the corner there. But I digress. As we come out in 14th, we're still in the points, but obviously we are waiting for others in front of us to box for soft tyres. So we're going to see if this works. The undercut round Bahrain is pretty strong, so if we have a really good out lap now, we could put ourselves in a very favourable position going into the final third of the race. But meanwhile, Webbsy's really close to medal.
Oh, Webb's just wiped out medal.
And poor Medal has been absolutely wiped out there. And that's his race, pretty much in the bin. I think he got involved in a collision on the opening lap, so he had to stay out to try and, you know, go long, essentially. And he's just been wiped out now. And I spoke to him afterwards. He was absolutely livid with that. And that kind of just sums up the frustration he's going through as well. But on to lap 20, pivotal moment in this race. We're going to pass Webbsy on the DRS straight. And as you can see, Rappy's coming out of the pits as well. And we're just going to get ahead of him. And everybody else that pitted. So that means we're a net P1, ladies and gents. We are a net P1 in this race. And we're absolutely going for it on lap 20. Purple first sector, green in the middle. We don't talk about that last corner. We don't talk about that at all. But as we cross the line to start up 21, we get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And Rappy goes through as well as we swap places. And that's exactly what we're going to try and do for the rest of the Grand Prix. And as you can see, it's a 1-2 for FRT. It's been a very frustrating race. But the undercut has put us in a great position to really fight for some big points here today. Obviously, I was involved in the only 1-2 finish we got this season at Monza. And I'm thinking we could do it again. But it's not going to be easy. And that's because the tyre delta around here is really, really harsh. So everyone behind us is on 1-2 lap fresher tyres. So that means that they're going to have such a tyre advantage, even though the difference is 1 or 2 laps. So this is not going to be easy. As we go round the outside of Rappy to try and swap again at turn 1, Crowning's managed to get his way through, and I'm confused because that was not part of my script. And Crowning, he mugged us in Miami. He's going to try again, this time at Bahrain. Going into turn number 4, he's gone for the outside line, but we're not having it. And we hold our ground in P1.
Yeah, we're not having a rip here in Miami. No chance.
And you can clearly tell I was trying to defend for pride there, because you can hear me say that we're not having a repeat in Miami, where Crowding basically took us for a mug, and we're not having it. But we've managed to hold off for now, but it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, I've hit 30% on the left front already.
Come on, 20 on the front left.
Lap 23, and this is where things are going to get really difficult. I've already hit 30%, so the tyres have already seen better days, and you can see I'm trying to let Rappy through, but Webbsy's seen an opportunity to pass us as well. We're going to try and hang it round the outside into turns 2 and 3, but we get pushed off.
What is it that difficult? Is it really that difficult?
And in the blink of an eye, we've gone from 1st to 5th. It could be 6th, because TTM Allison, another man who loves this circuit, he's pushing his way through the field, and he gets through as well. And I kind of just let him go there because, you know, I'm realising now that we're up against it, and we really need to try and, you know, stay in this train. We need this train to stay stuck together. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. Rappy, meanwhile,
My God.
I don't know why he sends it to there.
has made big contact with Quantum and he's spun round. So we're into P5. But you can see Allison goes up the inside of Websy as well. So Allison has had an unbelievable lap. He's in another league at the minute. He's made up 3 places in 1 lap. And he's up into P3. So Allison could be thinking about winning the race. But it's not quite the same story for us because now we're struggling. And the last person we need on our back is Tech Brutal. And like I said earlier in qualifying, you know, I made fun of his hours, but this guy is one quick bastard for a reason. And he's up the inside. We're going to try and fight back here. We're not going to make this too easy for him, but there's nothing much we can do. He gets through, and Quantum, he finds a way through as well. So we've lost another 2 places. And it's really frustrating. Rappy's still holding his own in P1 as well, which makes it even worse. We've just dropped like a stone in the last 2-3 laps. Quantum still going side by side with Tech there through 6 and 7. We're going to try and have a look at the inside of Quantum, but that gives the opportunity for Bourbon Boy out of nowhere round the outside, and he's mugged us off now. We're going to try and hang on, try and make a switch back through 9 and 10, but the rear end just steps out a little bit on the exit, and we're down to P8. We were P1 2 laps ago, and we just keep losing out in these moments, and it's so frustrating. And we're basically back to square one. We're on older tyres. You can see there briefly that we're nearly at 50% on the tyre wear now, as we have another moment out of turn 13 this time. And unfortunately, Rappy is not going to be up ahead for much longer. Going into turn number 1 again, you can see things are kicking off again.
What the hell, man? They hit me on the braking and they hit me there. I don't know why they do that.
So Rappy has been sent down to P7. We were 1-2 5 laps ago. We're 7th and 8th with 3 laps to go. You can see the tyre wear icon's already up as well. So clearly, pitting on lap 18 is not the way to go. But going into turn number 8.
Oh my God.
Oh, nah, what the fuck is that? Honestly, what the fuck was that?
All this can happen in just 1 lap, man.
And just like that, that's game over, guys. You can see the gap between the top 5 is over 1 second. And we've got a little bit of front wing damage after hitting Rappy. I don't know what's happened there, but it's another Cossatina effect. And we get caught out in it. We just let those guys go. I let Bobbitt's go as well because I kind of promised myself I was going to do that if we did drop back because I felt bad for that collision. And Rappy's probably got the best chance to get them back. As you can see, we're going to start the last lap now. We're down to 9th. Rappy up the inside of Bobbitt, who is closer to Zimbabwe than he is to the apex. I don't know what's happened there with Bobbitt. But Rappy goes round the outside through turns 2 and 3. And he's up into P7 at least. And Bourbon Boy, with all this fighting going on, he's going to run away in P6. We're going to try and get the over and under on Bobbitt through turn 4. But there's no grip. And that's basically it. That's our race over here, guys. Unless something happens up ahead. We've caught a second on the top 4 because they're fighting like crazy up ahead, but we're too far back.
Where are you going, bro?
Meanwhile, Rappy goes a little bit wider than you would have liked through turn 13, but we can't make an impression on Bobbitt. And we come through the final corner. Allison wins the race by quite a distance. There was a lot of shenanigans going on in front of us, but we're not there to pick up the pieces, and instead, it's P9 on track. It's P8 at the flag, and I was absolutely livid. I couldn't believe it. Belrofox, my engineer, tried to comfort me in the fact that we did get the fastest lap, but I was not ready to hear any sort of comfort words because if you look at it objectively, guys, we were P1 and 2 on lap 22, and none of us are in the top 5 after that. So I was absolutely livid with that, and I don't know what the stewards are going to say. So we'll have to find out in the next video because I'm not waiting for them to make a decision. And yeah, it's another race of what could have been, and that kind of sums up my frustration on this game for the last year because the pace is there, but we keep making mistakes and we keep losing out in big moments, and it's the fine margins that get in our way every time, and it's so annoying. But yeah, In terms of the championship, I think we're in the top 10 in the drivers, but we're trying to fight BRT for P3, and they've scored big points today. So it's a really big missed opportunity, and it just adds to the frustration that the team is having this season. The pace is there. We just can't quite put it together when it matters, and we'll have to go again for the final 2 races, which is Mexico and Abu Dhabi. And I'll find out if I race in any of those, but that, guys, is the end of today's video. Be sure to hit the like button, get subscribed for more, and if you enjoyed the carnage or the suffering, let me know in the comments. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And as always, I will see all of you in the next one.